Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel GMB Today. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. The Chase presenter Bradley Walsh has been on our television screens for over 2 decades, but before he made a name for himself in the entertainment industry, he had a very different career. Bradley Walsh, the much-loved British television presenter who celebrated his 65th birthday this week, has previously hinted at slowing down, but with his jam-packed diary, it's evident that day is nowhere in sight. A familiar face on UK telly, he graces our screens with a variety of fan favorites, such as The Chase, Gladiators, Blankety Blank, and hits the road in Breaking Dad with his son Barney Walsh. But before becoming a television mainstay, Walsh kicked off his career joining Rolls-Royce as an apprentice jet engineer, and then briefly glimmered on the football pitch after being scouted by Brentford FC, until an unfortunate injury curtailed his play. Starting in showbiz as a Ponton's blue-coat entertainer gave Bradley his first taste of the stage life. Despite his natural fun-loving tendencies, which often got him into trouble during school and previous occupations, his spirited antics eventually led to him losing this job. Speaking to comedy.co.uk earlier this year, Walsh reminisced, "Once I left that to get into the entertainment industry and become a bluecoat, I got sacked from being the bloke that was messing around. I thought that was the job. In the end, I thought to myself, why don't I just get paid for messing around?" Post-Pontons, Walsh pursued a path in comedy, stating, "That was a very conscious decision, so I've got myself a routine together." Describing his comedic style, he said, "I was a very physical comic, bit like Norman Wisdom, not so many jokes. I was a very physical comic, and that's where it all started." Bradley Walsh has been gracing our televisions for more than 20 years as a comedian, actor, and presenter. His impressive acting portfolio includes stints as Danny Baldwin on ITV's Coronation Street, D.S. Ronnie Brooks in Law & Order UK, and taking on the role of Graham O'Brien in Doctor Who, aired on BBC One, reports Gloucestershire Live. In 2009, Bradley took the reins as host of ITV's quiz phenomenon, The Chase, marking a strategic shift in his professional path. Walsh detailed how he snagged the opportunity to host The Chase after popping into ITV studios to inquire about presenting jobs. While reminiscing during a conversation with the former head of daytime TV, she mentioned an upcoming quiz show concept, prompting Bradley's feedback. Recounting their discussion, Bradley shared, "I took it away and I said, 'Yes, this can work, this will work.' And she said, 'Okay, well, we're going to make a pilot.' And I said, 'I'll do it for you.' And she said, 'Yeah, but it's only an office run-through.' And I said, 'I'll do it for you, don't worry.'" During an appearance on the Tommy Tiernan Show last year, he remembered kickstarting the pilot and devising the monikers for the Chasers. Fast forward nearly 16 years, Bradley's enthusiasm for The Chase hasn't waned, and he has no intention of quitting anytime soon. In conversation with the Daily Mail, he mused about his tenure. "Until people say they've had enough and start switching off, I'll do it. We've had such an extraordinary time together. It's the best job in the world." Imagine dedicating years of your life to a role millions adore you for, only to hear the word no one ever wants to hear. You're sacked. That's exactly the startling revelation Bradley Walsh has opened up about. But as with all great British stories, there's resilience, humor, and a twist in the tale. Today, we dive into Bradley's shocking admission, his uncertain future on The Chase, and the surprising path this national treasure might yet walk. Bradley Walsh, the beloved presenter with that cheeky grin, has always been more than just a quiz show host. But recently, he admitted to being sacked from a role he loved. Not because of scandal, not because of failure, simply because television is ruthless. For an audience like us, who've watched Bradley since his early acting days in Coronation Street, this feels like déjà vu. He's no stranger to reinvention. Still, the way he spoke, candidly, almost with a glimmer of sadness, makes you realize how fragile even the brightest careers can be. And here's the cliffhanger. What exactly does this mean for The Chase? Could Bradley's place on the show we tune into daily be at risk too? When you think of The Chase, you think of Bradley. His quick wit, the way he chuckles at the chasers' quirks, and his gentle encouragement of nervous contestants, it's the beating heart of the program. Bradley isn't just a host, he's the glue that binds the show together. But he's also a realist. In his words, nothing lasts forever. And that honesty, spoken with warmth, was both inspiring and unsettling. What happens when the man who helped shape ITV's crown jewel decides it's time to step aside, or worse, is shown the door? And yet, there's a twist. Bradley hinted that even if his future on the chase is uncertain, his journey is far from over. Bradley's career has been built on resilience. From footballer to comedian, from soap actor to game show host, he's been told no more than most of us care to imagine. But every no was just another stepping stone to his next big moment. When he talked about being sacked, he didn't dwell on bitterness. Instead, he reminded us of something profoundly British: the art of dusting yourself off, having a cuppa, and carrying on. His ability to laugh at himself, to see endings as beginnings, is what makes his story not just heartbreaking, but uplifting. So here's the real question. If Bradley Walsh were ever to leave the chase, where might his journey take him next? Bradley has hinted at wanting more time with family, more room for acting, and even a return to music. Yes, music, the passion he's quietly kept alive. The idea that after being sacked, Bradley could surprise us with yet another chapter in his life feels nothing short of inspiring. So, as fans, we're left hanging on his every word. Will the chase survive without him? Or will Bradley Walsh write one final unforgettable chapter in its history before moving on to yet another reinvention? One thing's certain, Bradley's story isn't over. In fact, it might just be beginning again. Though tell me, do you believe the chase would ever be the same without Bradley Walsh at the helm? Let me know in the comments below.